and welcome to the 9th episode of skirt pattern making with Bunka method. Today we are creating a gored skirt. A gored skirt is made by joining 4, 6 or 8 trapezoid shape panels depending on the design. The silhouette can be semi-flared, fully flared or mermaid. And you can even insert gusset between the panels to add extra movement or volume. In today's video, we focus on drafting a simple gored skirt. In the next video, we can move on and create a mermaid skirt which has a more flare below the knee. For fabric selection, choose a material that supports the silhouette you want. For minimal flare, use medium weight wool, heavy cotton or similar weight synthetics. For more dramatic flare and movement like a mermaid skirt, choose a more drapey fabric like georgette or lightweight materials. Okay, let's start the pattern making, and I bring my basic straight skirt. We developed the gored skirt from this basic pattern. I can put the link of how to create this skirt in description. The first step is to adjust the length. I want to make the skirt shorter by 7.5 centimeters according to the diagram. Just right click on the hemline and offset the pattern outline based on your design. The next step is to draw internal line 10 centimeters below hip line. So since I had converted this line to baseline before, I will convert them to internal line first, then offset them 10 centimeters below. And I just remove 2 extra pieces that I don't need. We need to do pattern making only on one front and one back. The next step is to draw vertical lines from end of each dart to hemline. And you can do that with internal polygon tool. I just right click on all these lines and add point to the pattern outline. And I will determine the amount I want to open my silhouette on the gored skirt. As you see in the diagram, it is opened total 3 centimeters on front and back, and this amount is distributed between each panel as you see in the diagram. So first I determine the amounts which need to be opened by the split tool on this guideline I have drawn. So you see it is 1.2 on the left side and 0.6 on the right side of the line. And on the other line from the dart near to the side seam, 1 cm is splitted. So now I need to draw internal line from dart end to these points I have just created on the guideline. With internal polygon tool I draw these lines first. And then I right click on all of them and extend them to pattern outline. And make sure you add a point to pattern outline too. Choose that option because when you trace, it will help you with the tracing. Now we need to do the same process for the back. Just refer to the diagram and open up, determine the points. The amounts that you see in the diagram are distributed in a way that if you want to change the amount, you need to follow the same proportion. For example, if you want to open up 5 cm, then you need to do 1/3 of it on the line near the dart which is near the side seam, and the rest you need to split it on the dart near the center front or center back. And as you see, one side is 2 times more than the other. Okay, now I want to trace my pieces out. This part is a little bit tricky because you need to find out which line to follow. That's why I have created these green shapes to show which lines you should trace out for back pieces. For example, focus on back pattern. These are the back panel pieces you need to trace out from your pattern. Those parallel lines that you see on each pattern shows that which line belongs to which pattern piece. So I take the trace tool and I select all the pieces for center back panel. And right click once I'm finished and trace it as a pattern. So this is my center back panel. I can delete the extra internal line later. Now I can go for the middle piece, and you see my trace tool, each line that becomes yellow, it belongs to this piece, and I'm holding shift while I'm selecting these lines. Once you select all the lines, you can right click and trace it. Choose the trace as pattern option. Okay, this is my middle piece. Just know that this middle piece should be joined with the side piece later. The last panel for the back is the side back. I bring it out, and now I just remove the internal lines that I don't need anymore. Next, I join the two side pieces together, as you see, and you can see the next diagram how the back panels are. The two-way arrow that you see is the grain line. We need to adjust the grain line for our pieces. First, I mark my pieces. I put annotation because now we have a lot of pieces. We might get confused which is side, which is front. So I put names of each piece. This piece is center back, and I mark the center back line. I also mark the side back. I start with the side back first. I draw an internal line on top of the waistline, and also I want to mark my hemline center. For that, first I smooth out my hemline, and then right click on it, split it by uniform split tool, and then draw a line in the middle of waistline and hemline, like so. The reason I'm doing this, first my grain line should be parallel with this line, and then I need to adjust my dart too. So for adjusting the grain line, click on it, then right click and choose the option which says align with parallel with a selected line, and then you can select the internal line you just drawn. Now if you right click on the piece and rotate it to follow the grain line, it will rotate and be aligned with your grain line. For center back piece, grain line is okay because it's parallel to center back, and that's what we want. I'm just checking my side seam measurements to ensure they are they have similar length. I see my center back piece is a bit longer at side seam. As you see in the diagram, the angle should be 90 degrees on both edges, so we could go up a little bit, I mean up to half centimeters to 1 centimeters up to make that angle 90 degrees. Here I go up about half a centimeters and smooth my hemline as you see in the diagram. The last adjustment is that I need to bring my dart in the middle of the side back panel. So I measure my dart width, it's 2 centimeters, and right now it's not in the middle. I need to move my dart legs half centimeters or to be more exact, 0.7 centimeters toward the sides, so that it is at the center of my side back panel. And now with this walking tool, I make sure my seams are smooth and aligned. As you see, my hemline is a little bit shorter on the side back panel. I fixed that. I just smooth some of the seams, as you see, to make sure all the seams are smooth. And then I will do the same process for the front. I do the tracing process the same way as the back. The only difference for the front panel is that you don't need to change the position of the dart like we did for the back pieces. I just mark my pattern pieces as center front and center back, and adjust my grain line. I'm just smoothing the hemline the same way we did for the back. We can go up, as I said, half centimeters to 1 cm above to make the 90-degree angle. For adjusting the grain line on front panels, you draw a line on the waistline, find the middle of it, and find the hemline middle point as well with the split tool. Draw an internal line between the two lines, between the 2 points. And then with edit texture tool, right click on grain line and select the internal line you have drawn to make it parallel with. And center front panel is okay because grain line is already parallel to center front line. Now I just delete the extra internal lines I don't need and do some checking for my seam to ensure all the seams have same length. Okay, now that all of our pattern pieces are ready, we can create mirror pieces, and also we will check our waistband too. Okay, for the waistband, this is our old waistband that we had for our basic straight skirt. First, I remove the old seams, and then I want to remove the overlap part on center back because I want to have an opening on the side seam of the avatar, the right side. So first thing I do, I would cut my pattern on center back. I'll delete all the seams first, and then cut the pattern at CB line because I don't need the overlap part. Then I draw a vertical line on right side seam and cut it there too. This is my back waistband. Now I choose the center back line and make the pattern symmetrical with sewing. When you mark your points and put notches on your side seam, center front and center back, everything will be easier. So before making those changes, always mark your pattern. Now I mark on my center front one internal line and then cut it. Delete the rest of the pattern. Then I click on my center front line right click and make a symmetrical pattern with sewing. So this is my front waistband. Next, I right click on my center front panel, create symmetrical piece with sewing, and on the side front I just click and Control D, which press Control D, which creates a symmetrical piece. I do the same process for the back. Okay, as you see, we have now 6 panels. This is the gored skirt with 6 panels. And now we can arrange pieces around our avatar and start sewing. I'm changing the pose because avatar's arms won't let me do my job properly. And I find it easier always for a skirt to sew the waistband first and then sew the pieces below waistband. So I put the waistband pieces in correct position. I would freeze other pieces so that they don't move. I start sewing my side seams on the waistband. Then I start sewing my front panel to the waist first, and after sewing those, unfreeze the pieces, right click and choose the superimpose side function. This will take them to the correct position. Then I can sew the other seams easily, and you see my front panels are sewn nicely, and I do the same process for the back. Okay, our skirt is almost complete. We just need to make sure our darts are sewn as well. For checking the fit, I turn on the grid on 3D window to ensure my side seams are sitting at same level and my hemline at front and back sits at same level. As you see, the skirt is well balanced. For the fabric of this skirt, I have chosen medium weight wool fabric because our silhouette is not very voluminous. I have chosen this fabric, and I just make center panels in a different color to show that these gored skirts have this capability to have different patterns in some panels. If you remember, we had made a top before in previous series in which the middle part had different panels, so she can wear it with that kind of top and match the colors as well. Okay, our outfit is ready. You can see how it looks on the avatar. Just to show you how this skirt would look like if you had chosen different amount of flare or opening on your guideline. I have made a skirt with 5 centimeter of opening instead of 3 centimeters. As you see, our internal line would become a little bit more angled and the flare would be more. Just try to use the same proportion as I mentioned. So you put 1/3 of it on the dart near the side seam, 1/3 of the whole amount you are choosing as the amount on the dart near the side seam, and the rest you divide it between each side of the line on the dart near center front or center back. And the process is same, and as you see, the amount of flare will increase on the skirt. Okay, I hope you have found this tutorial useful. Thank you for watching this video with me, and see you next Saturday for more skirt tutorials.